Hello and welcome to another episode of Video Game Logic. Today's episode was recorded on July the 16th, 2019. I'm your host, Gaming Psychologist, and with me, as always, Footloose and Fancy Free.
Caffeine Rage.
On today's show, we're going to be doing things a little differently from usual. There will be no games played this week. Instead, we're going to be diving straight into the news with Valve announcing Steam Labs, interactive recommendations, automated showcases, and micro trailers. G2A wants 100 devs to sign up within a month before it builds a key blocking tool. Nintendo is switching up the Switch. Ubisoft bans XP Farming Quest and Assassin's Creed Odyssey story creator. The ESA makes Congress play in a Rocket League tournament on Twitch. We will have our weekly community corner with some community game night discussions and a Steam weekly discovery queue. Timestamps will be in the show notes following their respective topics. Hello, Rage.
Hello.
So yeah, you know what I did this weekend, and I might have mentioned to a couple of other people. I don't remember who I have talked to about the thing or not, but just I had a really crazy weekend, and that is when I do most of my game playing that involves brand new games. Typically on weeknights, if I play games, it's either something to just chill and unwind that's very familiar to me, or, you know, just something that's not worth talking about. So,
or Game Club.
I don't have as much time. Yeah, or Game Club stuff. So, I had no new games this week, and you only had one.
I had one that was going to be more of a rant, but that's not to say I didn't play other things. I mean, I did a little bit of multiplayer Forza with M251, and I had a little bit of time of my land in Portia, but not enough to talk about it because that's a Harvest Moon-like, so, you know, I want to get it a little bit further in before I really start picking that apart.
Yeah, I played a little bit of BattleTech and a little bit of X4, but you guys don't want to hear about that stuff again. So, also, I haven't gotten far enough in X4 to talk about any of the in-game economy stuff. And then, I mean, you know, BattleTech is more of the same. But I did find an interesting thing that I'm going to bring up because it's going to be what the episode title is. I'm tired and like on the verge of sick again. So like everything is like extra.
Jared, you're always sick.
That's true. And I do have a chronic health condition. But more sick than usual, I guess. But I was browsing through Reddit and I saw a link on the Chattanooga subreddit, that is Chattanooga, Tennessee, which is where I live, in case you don't know, in the state of Tennessee, not specifically Chattanooga, that if you flush drugs down the toilet, you could be creating, quote, meth gators, the police in Tennessee say. And I just had to. I guess I'll put a link in the show notes, and you can arrange it as you see fit. Put it on top of all the news. This is our top news story of the day. Meth gators in Tennessee. But then that you showed me new sentences?
Brand new
sentence. The subreddit brand new sentence.
Yeah, it turns out meth gators isn't they've already migrated to northern Alabama. Because
indeed.
Of course, right?
Yeah, but if you're on the Discord and you happen to pop in before this episode goes live, you might notice in the general chat that there is a link to a comic strip with some farmers in it, and that came from Brand New Sentence. So
yeah, Jared's favorite subreddit.
Yeah, I'm going to spend a lot of time there over the next few days. And weeks and months and years. But, yep, that's what I've been up to today. We were all exposed to strep throat over the weekend. And I've had a sore throat for 2 days, but no fever and no other indication that I've caught strep. But I think Katie and King both have it. They're going to the doctor to get checked out tomorrow. But we think that they both have it, which means that I'm fucked. So, we're going ahead and doing the show. Gonna be a little bit shorter show tonight, probably, unless I get too loopy and just talk for the next 3 hours, which has happened a couple of times. but I should really make sure I go to bed earlier than normal, so.
Yeah, that way you could wake up sick a lot sooner to you.
Indeed. Indeed. But if you don't have anything to bring up before we dive in.
Not really. I mean, brand new sentences is probably the thing I've contributed most right now.
Yep, that is, if we did like, I don't know, finds of the week or gems of the week or something, like this would be that. Like I recommend you check out brand new sentence on Reddit right now.
Yeah, we could wait.
But, yeah, we can wait. We'll still be here.
Okay, is that long enough?
Yeah, it's probably long enough. Welcome back from brand new sentence. It's wonderful, right? Okie dokie. On to our first news topic of the night then. Valve announces Steam Labs, interactive recommendations, automated showcases, and micro trailers. So this was neat.
Yeah, hey, Valve is actually innovating again. How about that?
Yeah. So
this was announced last week on Thursday. Well, first of all, it's 4 things here. The lab is their new environment for active experiments, assuming, of course, they keep this populated, because Valve has kind of the tendency to create things and kind of let them wither and die. But this is to get public feedback on smaller experiments to know if it's worth putting more time into them, or just to let them languish and die. Yeah, one of the two, right?
Yeah.
So the first 3 that was launched alongside this is micro trailers, interactive recommender, and the automatic show. So
I guess we can just go and through each of these.
Yeah,
micro trailers is basically if you hover. I mean, it's like hovering over YouTube video thumbnails or porn thumbnails on like Pornhub. It just like plays a few seconds, 6 seconds of the trailer for the game, so you can get like a quick idea about what it's going to be. I mean, I don't see how that.
Well, this could be an addition to the Steam storefront. I imagine that's where this would be if it gets added on. But it's one of those things that it's neat for some things, but other things it's just not. It doesn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah, it depends on what type of game it is, because some of these games, like idle games or more sort of indie titles that are less graphically intense, there's a lot less going on with those, so it doesn't look as good. But I mean, I don't think this is necessarily a bad thing.
I mean, it's hard to argue against it. I mean, some of it gives you an idea of I don't even want to bother with that. That's a sliding puzzle. That looks like it's RPG Maker. Well, I don't think you exactly need to know more based off the title of Furry Shakespeare. I think we know where we're going with that already.
And I want to go there.
And cheat on my Fuhrer waifu.
I can have room in my heart for multiple weeboo things.
This is how the Holocaust started. Someone cheating on Hitler.
I think we're going to hell now too. We'll have to put a link to that Kickstarter page so people can.
You had such a gut laugh on that.
It was amazing. I loved it.
I mean, I kind of wish the Steam chat didn't spoil what it was. It was just a Kickstarter link. But yeah. It's by the people that did Panzer Models and Stay the People's Democratic Republic of North Korea visual novels.
Yep. And if you're familiar with the term Führer, you probably have a good idea of where this is going.
Well, considering I said Hitler and Holocaust.
You did actually. You're right. But yeah, I like the micro trailers. That thing's neat.
Yeah, they're neat. I'm not sure outside of just the Steam marketplace where they'd be terribly worthwhile, but if it's like tied to the second thing, well, at least I believe it's the interactive recommender. It could be a powerful tool, which, well, the interactive recommender, I'm not sure this is going to be a replacement for the discovery queue or if this is like its own sub thing. But it takes a look at your Steam library, and I'm not sure how many, but it looks like it goes down quite a ways on hours played. Oh, your top 50.
Top 50
well, I scrolled right past it. Your top 50. It then generates recommendations based on that. So completely stock, older with, or older than 10 years with popularity at about, I would say 75%. It actually suggests interactive capitalist, then line. So minimalist puzzle game, then time clickers. So it's giving me a lot of idle games. Is it saying something about me? Goat Simulator, Surgeon Simulator, Bit Trip Beat, Hotline Miami. The Stanley Parable is actually a good one. But then you could change these. So let's say, let's go co-op games. Well, somehow Venture Capitalist is still there. But let's go... Okay, well, I don't want anything early access. I could exclude that. So then it goes Plague Evolved, and let's say I want something that's less than a year old. And it all shuffles around, so it allows you to go, okay, well, I want something more niche. And it's an interesting discovery tool. And if this is fleshed out a bit more, I would say this is a good way to get around some of the discovery issues, because there's a few things on here that, just toying around with these settings that I've never seen before.
Yeah, same. And some of them look pretty good too.
Let's say I want to exclude VR titles and go atmospheric games. Like my top one with niche going, let's go about 25% towards niche, is Nog, which is something I've never heard of. That is interesting. A tactile 3D puzzle about exploring whimsical monster heads and secret worlds inside them. Sure, let's go for that. I'll add that to my wish list.
RPG. I like how, too, it's like you hover over the, I guess, tile, or whatever you want to call it, that's got the game. You can very quickly add to wish list, add to cart. It starts playing the Steam trailer. And mine is muted by default, but you can, so you can click and unmute it, listen to the trailer real quick.
Yeah, I would say it's, definitely worth checking out.
Yeah, the discovery queue is kind of fun because of the randomness that comes with it. But if I'm like, you know what, I'm looking for a game.
Yeah, well, the problem also is the discovery queue can be skewed. So if you played, like a couple of visual novels, it would start throwing out a lot of visual novels. And as much as I enjoy visual novels, there's a high crap to gem ratio. But then if you start playing something else and it slowly starts skewing, or if you play something that even has the tag RPG Maker, you're boned for quite a while.
And you and I each have an interesting, unique problem that's like a fairly unique problem where our libraries are so huge, it just screws up the
algorithms.
The algorithm, because it's like, they've got like everything.
Yeah, and also, even this, my top 3. Well, let's go with my top 10 or so. Well, Team Fortress 2 I don't play anymore because, they ruined the game with hacks. Warframe, I don't need another MMO because I have, between that and Forza, which is kind of borderline, I'm kind of filled up on that. Binding of Isaac, the original, I have the sequel there if I want to play that. Kerbal, okay, that works. The sequel to Binding of Isaac, Gary's Mod, which I haven't fired up in ages. Euro Truck, which starts bringing in some of the crappy simulator games. Star Trek Online, so, that's bringing more MMOs again. Borderlands 2, which I think is terrible unless you're playing with someone else. Terraria, which is sort of the same but as Borderlands, but it is enjoyable by itself. Torchlight 2, which I've played a ton of, but it does bring in ARPGs, which is fine. Then Civ 5, and then RimWorld to round out the top 10 or 15. So, yeah, it's kind of throwing a lot into the interactive recommender.
Yeah. Mine are mostly space or management games. Or space management games. So I got Eve, Kerbal, Battletech, Factorio, Elite, Transport Simulator. That's my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. My top 6.
Yeah,
And
I think my
Warframe.
biggest... Yeah, I think my top is like roguelite, and that's with 2. I mean, I have first-person shooter, MMO, third-person shooter, roguelite twin stick, Kerbal, which is like its own thing, roguelite, Gary's Mod, which is sandbox, simulator, MMO. That's how I guess MMO is there. Borderlands, which is first-person MMO light. Terraria, which is exploration, adventure, ARPG, 4X, RPG, base builder. So yeah, I got like this beautiful mess. But it does make it so that the interactive thing is interesting, especially once you start going through different settings. So, say, no filter on that. Let's find us a nice co-op game that's been released in the last 2 years. That's damn niche. Boy, those are some weird ones. Global Minesweeper on a globe, huh?
That's Forager. I've seen this game before. It's been on a front page, but it's like at the top of my recommended list.
Okay, that Globe Sweeper is weird. It's literally Minesweeper, only it's on a globe or some sort of 3D-dimensional object. And it's damn cheap, too. Now, the question is, where did they rip this off from? Yeah, it looks like it may not have been. It's just, a rip-off of Minesweeper, which is fine. Alright, let's go a little less niche. Beat Hazard 2, World of Warships. They're recommending Artifact. Please play Artifact. Boy, I hadn't looked at the reviews on Artifact in a while. Number 1 rated. Please give me back my money.
So, this is interesting. So I'm looking at the next one now, the last one, the Automatic Show.
Yeah, it reminds me, one of the few things I actually enjoyed from G4 was Cinematech, which is basically just game trailers for a half hour.
Yeah.
And that's this only automatically produced. Now, assuming, of course, they update this every so often because I believe this is just the launch version. So, yeah. So, new and popular. But, yeah. You could just set that up to play in the background and, Final Fantasy 14 Shadowbringers.
And it flips through.
Yeah. It goes through the
games.
top 20. Top 30.
And then you can click on the pop-up.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's got one to the side of the player for what the game is. You can click on it and it'll take you to the store page. And they've got another video that's talking about making it. When someone speaks. Huh. I don't know if they did it, if it's this for you too, or if this is like randomly generated by what it is, but mine, so at the bottom, it says, additionally, we might refine some of the motion graphics like so, and it's MechWarrior Online and Battletech.
For what? On this, behind the scenes, and then next steps,
Yeah.
Mine has... Well, I see Battletech on here, so...
Okay, so it is Battletech.
Yeah.
All right. Actually, that's all Battletech. I thought the top was MechWarrior Online.
No, that's all Battletech.
Interesting. Okay, I was like, I wonder if this is somehow generated based on, like, recent games played or something. But if you've got Battletech too, then I guess that Battletech was just the lucky pick.
Yeah.
When they did this.
Well, Battletech's kind of like the darling child, isn't it? For at least a podcast.
Yeah, it's definitely my darling child.
Poor King.
Love me some Battletech. So I'm not sure if I'm as into this. I don't think it's bad. Just having like the trailer stuff.
Well, I would say this would be neat just to put up or just to, flip through for a little bit of, oddball games, possibly.
Yeah. Actually, you know what? Letting this play through, like there's some games that I have seen on the front page or whatever that I wouldn't watch the trailer for. And I had a wrong idea in my head about what the game is. So seeing the trailer play automatically is neat.
Yeah, it's an interesting
Although I'm not sure
idea. I mean, I got at the point where the trailer is kind of a pointless thing, because by that point, you already have all the other marketing material, and there's no place that really plays trailers anymore. So having something like this, I think, is worthwhile, actually.
Yeah. I'm not sure if I would go sit and just watch it, though.
I would say it's probably like second screen. You're just browsing the web and you put this on, especially if they update it weekly. So the last one was released last Tuesday. So, but the page didn't release till Thursday. So who knows when this gets generated again? But it'd be something like turn on once a week and just have it play on the second screen while you're reading your emails or something.
Yeah. Glance over, see something that catches your eye.
Like, what in the fuck is that? Like, there's something interesting. It looks very Heroes of Might and Magic-ish. Trials of Fire. Yeah, it's single-player turn-based strategy set in a post-apocalyptic fantasy realm. Yeah, I'll add that to my wish list. So, hey, this is working already. Right?
Yeah, there you go. So yeah, this is something that Valve is doing that is good, I think. Like everything they do, I'm so used to everything they doing being garbage or basically nothing, that when they actually put out something that seems like it's got some real meat on its bones, it feels weird.
Yeah, especially, these are all three active in development. So having, these be both pretty functional, but also, out there for public testing. Valve has been always very, closed off on what they're doing until it releases. And then, causes uproar. So having this, out there in the open for, essentially, you know what this is?
What?
Someone actually went back and read the definition of beta test.
Yeah. That is true. And I can get behind that.
Oh, poor Gaben.
They did some work for once.
Oh, then having us do the work, but, public beta testing, kind of has to be a thing.
True. But, I mean, they're doing something that's open. Transparent's maybe the wrong word, but it's, we actually know about this stuff, though, so that's good. Instead of it just kind of coming out of nowhere. Yeah,
coming out of nowhere, being half-baked, and then, never seeing an update. No, that's going to be the big thing, is this going to get followed through on? Not just these three projects, but the lab itself. I mean, I jokingly tweeted last week, Valve released the lab. Well, I know how this ends, and tweeted Gladys. But, my jokes aside, it's definitely not a bad thing to see Valve trying to do something different, especially in the wake of the Epic Game Store being absolute hot garbage to the player base.
Yeah.
So it's nice to see Valve actually making some movement. The Sleeper awakens and it's pissed.
Yeah. Maybe this is, and I didn't even think of it that way. Maybe this is an answer to Epic being like, yeah, well, if they're going to do all this shit, let's put more features in our storefront. Fuck you, Epic. You don't have any features.
Well, you can't say that. They don't have a forum. You can't say that. Literally.
Very true. All right. Well.
Speaking of features.
Indeed. Our next new topic of the night G2A wants 100 devs to sign up within a month before it builds a key blocking tool.
Yeah, because getting some public goodwill. It's amazing just how inept G2A is, isn't it?
Yeah. So after our topic last week, where we discussed where the G2A had essentially asked news outlets to break the law by running sponsored content and lying about the fact that it was sponsored, among other things that was wrong within that what they did. It seems like they're going back to try and address an old complaint to look for some positive PR, some goodwill that indie devs have said, like, if you want to be involved, or not if you want to be involved, if you want us to be involved and support you, like, give us some tools to control some of the shit that goes on so that we can stop fraudulent key sales and things like that, like if these keys will wind up stolen. I'm very much paraphrasing years worth of back and forth here.
Well, also the developer of Factorio trying to take them up on... Actually, that's something that I should put on the docket for this as well, is that the dev of Factorio is trying to take them up on their offer of any proof that you've had chargebacks based on keys sold by G2A. They offer a 10 times back compensation. Factorio's dev has been trying to take them up on that. And they've, quote, said they've been very slow to respond.
Yeah, I read somewhere that it was like $6,500 worth or something. I don't know if that's the 10 times multiplied number or if it's 6,500 and then it needs to be 10 times multiplied. But it was somewhere in that ballpark was the number I saw for what they were saying that they had charged.
Yeah, let's see. Just doing a quick search. It is... Yeah, that's the raw amount is $6,600. So
$66,000 is what they're trying to get out of G2A then. Which, I mean, good for them. Like any dev that was doing it. Now, I mean, I have a particular fondness for Factorio, but, any dev that did this, like, good for them. Go get them. Fuck those guys.
Yeah, but it turns out it's trying to squeeze blood from a stone.
Yeah.
Because they're, not exactly being responsive. Probably it's like, oh shit, somebody's calling us on it.
Yeah. But so back to the article that we do have here. So G2A is air quotes addressing this issue, and they've said that they want to partner with 100 devs to make this happen. Essentially, again, paraphrasing, they wanted to ensure there was interest in the tool before they put forward the effort to make it.
But it's not just saying that you're interested. You have to jump through a couple of hoops and register with them. If I read that correctly. So it's not just saying, we'd like that. But you also have to, pipe up some information potentially.
Yeah. There's a quoted tweet here from Mike Bithell that says, "I don't work for you. It's your job to protect the customers you sell and check keys to, not mine. I don't endorse or work with gray markets or folks that secretly pay for positive press. Bot farmed gift exploitation is the issue, not keys, and you know this, obviously."
Yeah,
so that was in response to their key blocking tool, air quotes, key blocking tool.
Yeah, which Valve has been desperately trying to, bonk on the head some of the key, or I should say gift farmers. Because part of this was also not just Steam keys, which PC Gamer naively said, well, all you need to do is not produce PC game keys anymore. Bunch of fuckwits. Wait, did I say that out loud?
I think so. I think I heard that.
Yeah, I shouldn't call them fuckwits. That's, a demean to fuckwits everywhere. I do not have any love lost for PC Gamer.
Duly noted.
But yeah, saying that, well, all you need to do is remove PC game keys, and that would solve the problem because you're treating the symptom and not the root cause, right? Which part of it is just laundering credit card money. Some of it is just exploiting pricing regions. And yes, it does suck to have pricing regions, the reasons behind them. But at the same time, they're having all these bot farms just going in and mass buying cheap or cheaper games on stolen credit cards and then selling them, to North American players and having, the games removed. Well, that's not keys, right?
Right. That is money laundering, essentially, which is, a whole different facet. I mean, it would be great if no games had game keys, because then you could just get the files for any game you wanted and play them. And yeah, you can do that through piracy for a lot of games, but
G2A is literally worse than piracy, so
that's true. Because those devs have to pay for the chargebacks, so they lose money. Not just make no money, they lose money.
Which honestly, piracy is more of a demo these days than anything else. Because game demos is also a thing that's kind of gone away. And that's not even counting, the times that piracy is literally the only way to play a game. Either due to server issues or the game not being supported anymore and the servers going down.
Or particularly older games where you can't get a physical copy anymore.
Oh, yeah.
Or the pirated version works because it's been updated and tweaked to work on modern systems.
Yeah, but at that point, you're starting to talk about game preservation on top of game piracy. Yeah, piracy is one of those kind of shades of gray areas, isn't it? Where, yes, technically it is illegal, but there are good reasons for it as well, and not just being a cheap ass gamer.
Yeah, we've talked about piracy as a general topic once before on the show.
Yeah.
I don't remember when that was. It's been a while.
Yeah, quite a while ago.
But we've also drifted away from the original news topic.
Yeah, G2A essentially, trying to say, oh yeah, we want to do something, but we want 100 devs to do it with us. Basically, they're just saying, oh yeah, we totally want to do this, but we're not sure if it would be used, so we don't want to put the effort in unless a bunch of devs pledge to use it.
What do you think about this tool in the first place?
Band-Aid over a gushing wound.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not even sure it's really a Band-Aid. It's just like somebody took some feathers and was like, oh, this is close enough to a bandage, and put them there. I understand wanting some basic registry because you don't want randos just showing up to your site and canceling shitloads of keys and stuff. From a business perspective, you don't want that. So I understand needing to register and do a couple things to prove who you are, but depending on how many it seems like there's a lot more hoops to jump through than just, hey, verify your identity and register, and then you're good to go.
Mm-hmm. And that's the thing is that I do agree that there should be some sort of third-party marketplace for extra copies of games. But the thing is that G2A has basically became a thieves' den. To the point where there's just no way to use it in good faith.
Yeah.
Because
there needs to be
I was going to say, if I went and got a Humble Bundle and all my friends weren't interested in a particular game or a piece of software, and yes, I realize that it's charity, but work with me here. And I want to say, get something else for it. Yeah, I don't see that big a problem with trading off a game or getting a buck or two back for it.
Yeah, I wish there was a sort of
more legitimate model.
Place.
I mean, there is subreddits for it, but then you start running into issues where you have to get third parties involved to do the handoff, and it starts to get a lot more messy.
Yeah, I wish there was a marketplace or something where it's like two individuals can just go and it's like, oh yes, I want to buy that game from you, and you can transfer the key easily, or some sort of registry or something like that.
I mean, Steam had to actually shut down the ability to add Steam games into inventories because of all the money laundering. It's just a case of we can't have nice things because of assholes.
Right. I would love to see like a digital games eBay. That would be great.
Yeah, unfortunately, a digital games eBay without any checks is G2A, and it's just too much of a gamble to be legitimate.
I guess, but eBay's got a lot of checks and security purposes or security measures in place to protect the customer side of things. Like, it's a lot more consumer friendly as a marketplace. But yeah, I see what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really know what else to say about it. Like, it's
G2A
not a real solution
sucks.
to the problem. Yeah, G2A sucks. It's not a real solution to the problem. At best, it's a band-aid.
I mean, it comes down to just, G2A's business practices being, washing of hands. And blaming others, don't forget. Oh, and fuck Adrian, right?
Yeah, fuck Adrian.
So, moving along.
Indeed. I just poured myself some more tea. I made some and put it in a thermos so it would stay hot. Anyways, our next news topic. Nintendo is switching up the Switch.
Yeah, editorialized that a little bit, but I think it's a decent edit, don't you?
Yeah, makes sense.
So there's a couple topics here. One I think is the one that we diverged the most on is the Switch Lite. A smaller Switch with half the calories.
Yeah, so the Switch is getting sort of like the 2DS version of the 3DS. A stripped down version of the console with the Switch Lite making it 100% portable. There's no dock. I don't think there's any way to connect it to a TV at all.
No, there is. Well, I should say not yet.
The Joy-Cons are gone. It's just that's all built in as a single piece.
Mm-hmm.
The screen's a little bit smaller, and the battery life is slightly better.
Yeah, like 30 minutes more on the low end and high end. So the normal Switch, the low end is 2.5 hours, with the high end being 6.5, and now it's 3 and 7. Which to me, for a mobile focused gaming platform, that's not enough.
Yeah, I just thinking about it for a minute. I'm not sure that that's enough either.
Especially, is there a way to charge it while still using it? Like strap a power bank on it.
Yeah, it uses USB-C for charging. So, I mean, I've got 2 large battery banks for things. So, I mean, if I got one, I could use it that way. But I really like the idea, because if I get a Switch, I'm probably almost never going to dock it. I don't really play video games by myself in my living room. I play mostly PC games, and then I'll sit in my recliner in my office and watch TV, and sometimes play games on my phone. And the Switch would replace my phone in that scenario. So it would never get plugged into a TV, so I like the idea of the Switch Lite. Just with it all being one piece, like I get that it's fragile, but with it all being one piece... Well,
supposedly this is supposed to be a lot more durable than the regular Switch. Especially because the Joy-Cons were the main part that was, Italian.
Right. But with it all being one piece, it's harder for me to lose something. It's harder for me to break something. So, I'm game for that.
Yeah, I think it really comes down to just, the screen. Because the Switch's screen also has a problem of being a little bit fragile. So, do they have it where this is a lot more durable? Or is this going to be essentially just the scaled-down Switch? With no Joy-Cons and it all built in. But you're also having the issue of game compatibility. It's kind of weird. There's limited compatibility with the Switch Lite. So any game that does not have a portable mode cannot be played with it. Any game that uses some of the more advanced Joy-Con features, the HD rumble and that sort of thing, it seems like that's not going to work either. So, you're going to have to pay very close attention to some of the games if they're going to be even usable.
Yeah.
So there's no HD rumble, no Joy-Con controllers, no IR motion controls either. So, those three things I've realized are all gimmicks, but at the same time, some games utilize them, especially first-party games, because, that's the loss leader here. So you're going to have a smaller game library, and it's also games that only have handheld mode. So even the ones that have tabletop mode, that doesn't work.
Right.
So you're essentially only one of the three main functionality modes on top of everything else. That's why, this is a little bit of a head scratcher to me.
Well, for a lot of people, I think that trade-off might be worth it. Also, Switch, the mobile aspect of it means that you can play a lot of indie games, which have made their way to Switch on the go. And I think having a cheaper platform to do that is going to appeal to a lot of more people sort of in my position who primarily are PC gamers but want to have a little bit more of a console experience with some of the better exclusives. I mean, Nintendo is about as good as it gets when it comes to first-party titles that you can't get anywhere else, so...
Well, it also depends on if some of the requested improvements on, the Joy-Cons or, the controller aspect of this actually goes into play, because there's some people talking about some real wear on the Switches, on the original Switches, or the Switch hole. The Switch's Joy-Cons, where they're starting to drift, and there's noticeable wear in the joysticks themselves. So if they don't fix that issue with this, or the upcoming update on the Switch, which we'll talk about, then it's going to be a limited limited lifespan on these things, because there's no the Joy-Cons are going kind of wonky. I'll just swap those out. Can't do that with this. So that's a concern on my part.
Right. I think this just appeals more to me. Like, I'm willing to make some of those trade-offs, I guess.
Yeah, I guess if I was going to go...
like you're quite as well.
I guess if I was going to go for the Switch, it would be the full Switch.
Right, which is getting a revision, right?
Yep. Hey, a nice segue. Yeah, supposedly it's going to be an updated memory module, which in the original teardown with Ben Heck, because I'm absolutely fascinated when he does console teardowns. Don't ask me why, it's just a thing, I guess. He noted that the memory module was on its own little daughter board that was just socketed in. So he said that there was a high possibility that later on down the line they would release an updated version with a upgraded memory capacity, and it looks like we're getting that. But also, it sounds like, according to some of the rumors I've heard, they're going to be doing a retool on the CPU, which is likely just a die recast to make it a little bit smaller, to make it a little bit more efficient, possibly even increase its battery life. So it may bump up to where the Switch Lite's battery life is.
Yeah, I wonder how much of those changes will be a part of the Switch Lite as well.
Yeah,
there's also a change I expect him to make, and maybe this is the chip, but there's a chip that's on the Switch that allows modding to function in a specific way. Like, I don't understand quite how it works.
Yeah, there was something about a unmoddable or unpatchable, that's it. Unpatchable mod entry point. So, yeah, that's gone. That has to be gone. I would be shocked if it isn't already. Which I think it is, actually.
You Googling that?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they've already fixed that. It looks like they've been banning them. Yeah, supposedly last year there was a upgrade to the Switch line that closed the unpatchable flaw. So it sounded like they've already done that. But I don't understand enough about what this is exactly to be able to say for certain. But
right.
Yeah, I mean, things like that gets through, first hardware revision, that's gone.
Yeah. I thought it survived a hardware revision because they didn't catch it fast enough. Maybe I could be misremembering something I heard or read a while back, but anyways. So yeah, there are probably some other minor changes they're going to make as well. Try and maybe cut costs a little bit or shave a little weight or, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Well, I think the big one is there's something about how the joysticks and the Joy-Cons are manufactured. I'm not clear on exactly how it is, but it's something about plastic on plastic in the Joy-Cons, and over time, people have shown that the wear starts to essentially create plastic sawdust within the Joy-Cons, which just makes the problem get worse and worse and worse.
Yeah, that's a sentence that I don't think I was expecting to hear. Plastic sawdust.
Well, it's a plastic powder, supposedly.
Gotcha.
So it basically becomes an abrasive in onto itself. At least if that's how if it works how I understand it. Basically, it wears down and creates little particles of plastic, which becomes essentially sandpaper.
Right. That makes sense.
That's why I was a little concerned about the Switch Lite with the integrated controls if they don't upgrade how they handle the joysticks.
Right, that makes sense. I don't really know what else to add about this. I like the Switch Lite. I like the concept of it. I'm more interested in that than a standard Switch at this point.
I mean, it is $100 off as well, so it's 2/3 of the price. Honestly, at this point,
$199.
Yeah, $199 versus $299. So, I think right now where things are with the Switch, it's wait and see for me. Maybe I'll get one used someday. Who knows?
Right. I mean, I've said on the show I want one for sure, but
there's a couple things I'm interested in. First party stuff. I'm actually interested in the newer Zeldas, especially now they've announced that there's going to be a direct sequel, which is the first time in quite a while, actually, that they've done a direct sequel to a previous Zelda game, hasn't it?
Yeah, the last one I can think of is Majora's Mask.
Yeah, same here. I mean, there's some that goes parallel to one another, Oracle of Seasons and Oracle of Ages. I am somewhat interested in playing Mario Odyssey. Pretty much just the first party stuff, actually.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm in that boat too, but I mean, I'm interested in it, so that's good enough for me.
Yeah, what else is not good enough for you, though, is just how XP is handled in Assassin's Creed or Odyssey.
Aw, yeah. So slick.
Oh, yeah. So, Ubisoft, or as Jim Sterling would say, oh, Ubisoft.
Oh, Ubisoft.
Yeah, they've been banning XP Farming Quest and Assassin's Creed Odyssey's story creator. And I wanted this talked about, particularly because how I talked about the blueprint system in Forza Horizon 4 when, I got to that and realized that a lot of it was just either cheat or easy stuff or farming stuff. Yes, it is frustrating to see that, being highlighted as the most played stuff, but, banning it outright, especially when, let's say a game company almost at random, Ubisoft, for example, is selling XP boosts, right?
Yes, they are.
Oh, wait, they are? That seems rather shitty to ban ways to farm XP then.
I know, it makes them seem like they're being kind of greedy assholes.
I mean, some of it I do understand them wanting to crack down on, especially some of the idle stuff. According to some of the reports I've heard, there was a couple of these stories that you go into and it spawns essentially super powerful NPCs on your side. They just go start mass slaughtering and you just stand there. I mean, I understand, wanting to skip that, but having, easy stuff to grind up, especially whenever the game, if you don't go off and do all the random stuff, has some very significant level jumps.
Yeah. And if you don't pay for the boost.
Oh yeah. Or get those Totino's pizza rolls, right?
Oh yeah.
Doing a callback on that one. Rolls. or you don't remember that one.
No, I remember that.
All right.
I remember that, but I do want some pizza rolls now in all legitimacy. But yeah. So instead of this doesn't feel like protecting the integrity of the game or the story or whatever. This feels like they're trying to snipe their competition because they have someone who can provide the exact same service for free.
Yeah, and we should say that this is with the release of their in-game story editor, so it's a story creation mode that they put into the game to be able to essentially do like Forza Horizon with blueprints or pretty much any game that has user-creatable content. Star Trek Online actually has a lot of these where it's just farming. But then there's people that actually go in and put edits or effort into their stories, and those typically are highlighted over, and you have to actively search out the farms. I think that's a much better solution. Have it where if the farms are there, have it where people can search for it, but put forward the games that or the content that people put effort into. Swinging around the banhammer isn't the answer here. It's just, it's a curation issue.
Yeah, because they could highlight non-cheaty or cheaty's the wrong word, but is exploitative, right?
I would hesitate on the word exploitative because this is the use of game mechanics in the way that. Well, I guess exploitative use of in-game mechanics may work. How about just, cheap grind?
Yeah.
That was my big problem with Forza's, was that it just was unfiltered. Okay, these are the most played right now. And it's the people that are doing the grinds to get the castles, which are, 10 and 15 million
very
credits.
Very expensive, yeah.
Yeah, very expensive. Good work, Mr. Dink.
But yeah, they could fix it without just banning it. Essentially, like you're saying, the ban hammer is overkill.
Yeah, the team claims that this is to maintain the creative integrity and the original intent of the tool, saying that these exploits risk just jeopardizing the overall quality, integrity, and purpose of story creator mode, and results in less visibility for the creative, interesting, and frankly, fantastic community stories that have been published. Well,
yeah, that's bullshit. I don't believe a word of that, except in the fact that it's interfering with the original intention because it gives people an alternative to spending money.
Yeah, I think they just didn't realize that the first thing people are going to do if there's a way to grind out XP easier in story creation is grind out XP easier. I mean, I do understand the sentiment here that this next sentence. We want to focus on rewarding creativity by highlighting quality quests, and we're working on fixes and adjustments to reduce the impact of such farming quests. I understand, wanting to focus on rewarding creativity, and to some degree reduce the impact of such farming quests. But you're selling an XP booster,
right?
This is, the left hand is doing one thing while the right hand is grabbing a wall and making off with it, right?
Yeah, I would say, like, an example. The left hand doesn't know what the right is doing, but I suspect they do know.
Oh, they know.
And they're doing it on purpose.
Now I'm just having the Assassin's Guild that hand. We know.
Oh. Good. That was good. I like that. You get a letter, and it's got a hand on it, a handprint. We know.
Honestly, I think the Assassin's Guild in Oblivion was better. Just the way that you entered it.
Yeah, I agree. Most of the stuff in Oblivion, from when it comes to guilds and quest lines, was better.
Yeah, we're definitely going to have to do an Oblivion story or game club at some point.
Absolutely. I'd be down.
Yeah, but
we're a few ahead.
Yeah, we're quite a few ahead, and we should probably do a choosing like in the next month or so for a good chunk of the rest of the year.
We could do the rest of the year. We're good through, what, October right now?
Yeah.
So, but we could do November and December.
Yeah, but I also want to see what
prepared.
Xbox Game Pass does and Twitch Prime.
That's true. Yeah, we could wait a month or two. 2 months would put us in September, and we've got Game Club for October already, so.
Yeah, and that's a doozy. I imagine we're going to need something nice and soft and cuddly after that one.
Yeah. I always need things that are nice and soft and cuddly.
Wink.
Wink.
Well, how about something nice and soft and cuddly for a news topic?
I was going to say, our last news topic of the night, the ESA makes Congress play in a Rocket League tournament on Twitch.
Yeah.
I mean, this isn't like a huge news story, but it's kind of cute.
Yeah. The ESA was there to showcase esports and game communities to the Future Forum caucus. And to do that, they had them play Rocket League, which, boy, I bet they got past the loot boxes real quick in that game.
Yeah, just start them already in game. All right. No, I want to paint my car. Nope, can't do that.
Wait, how does he have a hat? I want a hat on my car.
Nope, we don't want those surprise mechanics jumping out at you.
Did somebody say the surprise mechanic?
The surprise. Surprise, motherfucker.
Well, we're just stealing from Jim Sterling all episodes now, aren't we?
Yeah, I mean, the surprise mechanic is a really good character, though. But yeah, there's the Twitch video or the Twitch VOD is like, what, an hour and a half?
Yeah, it's just, it's adorable watching them play. It's like watching kittens just tumbling around.
Yeah. Then they have the commentators trying to do professional commentation. They're getting all excited, and it's like...
Yeah, he drove forward. He drove in a straight line, folks.
Just bumping the ball back and forth.
I mean,
get it. I mean, none of them, or most of them, had never played before, so...
Yeah, it's just... you have to admit, it is embarrassing at the same time, but adorable.
Yeah.
I have a feeling we could take them, you know?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Probably in the best of 5, but still.
But, it's interesting to see this. Like, this seems much more just like a purely positive PR move to me. I mean, I don't think it was a bad thing. Like, I think it's neat and it's pretty cool and it was a good idea. But
yeah, the
ESA still really sucks and they haven't redeemed themselves.
Oh, I'm not arguing with that in the slightest that they haven't, that they're not still shit. But I think the main thing, the main takeaway here is seeing more politicians make an effort into video games. And yes, I realize that most of these are younger politicians. Matter of fact, at least one that I quickly looked up was younger than me. Which, fuck, I'm old. But, seeing gaming coming into not just a more mainstream audience, but having politicians actively having to be exposed to it, even though, they are adorable when they play it. It's just, it's like, maybe we'll actually get some smart legislation at some point regarding gaming in general. And I'm not just talking the loot box angle on here, even though that's what we've kind of latched on to, but the whole, blaming gaming for all the sins of the world and talking about just, blaming gaming for violence, talking about just very down to gamers in general. It feels like, it honestly feels like growing up what politicians were talking to about rappers. For me, at least.
Yeah.
Not that
the kids these days,
yeah,
what they listen to.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm sure before that, rock music, then before that, the printing press.
Jazz, swing.
Those damn flappers.
But I think we're beyond, or we're past the point of no return in terms of like no government oversight or intervention.
Yeah, especially since the ESA is just wanting to bury its head.
Yeah, I think we're past the point of no return on that. But
yeah, unfortunately, it's buried their head directly into a lobbyist ass.
Yep. Filled with coke. But, I mean, this could lead at least to more positive...
No, it isn't. It's full of meth.
There's a gator up there.
Bringing it back.
But, I mean, this could lead to better... I don't want to use the term more lenient, because that implies that, like, they should be doing more, but they didn't. But maybe more considerate or more gentle types of legislation in the future.
I would settle for more intelligent at this point.
Yeah, that's fair.
More aware. How about that? Not even intelligent, but aware of gaming, and not just kind of lumping everything into one pot and being done with it. But have some sort of nuance with saying, okay, well, we understand that the rating system isn't quite working out how it should, so we'll take a closer look at this aspect of it. Instead of saying, okay, well, all these games that involve guns, they're certainly adult only. Or, oh no, there's a titty.
Woo, titties.
No, they're bad, Jared.
I always find it fascinating, and as a tangent that I don't want to pursue too far, but I always find it fascinating how the U.S. compared to
the
rest of the world thinks about violence and sex. And it's like, yeah, murder, fine. Little nip, oh, hell no. You're going to burn for that.
Well,
Satan's got his hooks in you.
Well, it's the Puritan roots of America, right?
Yeah.
That combined with, that whole Second Amendment thing, right?
It doesn't make it any less fascinating, though.
Yeah. I'm actually shocked that you didn't take something else from the docket, looking back at it.
I probably missed it. I was sleepy and...
the German researchers?
Concentrating. Oh, I saw that. I don't have it in me tonight to really have a go at that.
We'll save that for next week.
Yeah, we can do that. But anyways.
Yeah, we got through the news in hour 5.
Woo, so we're pretty much on track with what I was expecting.
Yeah, you just want to go curl up with a giant cough drop.
Yeah, I've used all my cough drops. I've drank all my tea.
Do you need a break?
No, I think I'm okay. I've got water, and my throat is just kind of scratchy, but it's not, like, super painful right now. I think I can make it through Community Corner and Discovery Queue.
Yeah, we didn't really have anything for Community Corner, the asshole, at least.
No, but I did receive a reminder after I pleaded last week for you guys to just bombard me with tweets so that I would actually create a list for game night, and I did. So it's got dates going out through the end of the year. I just slapped a few games on there. We played Uno this last week.
Yeah, that actually was a lot of fun.
It is. Uno is always fun for like an hour or so because we just sit around and we bullshit, and we usually get in like 2 or 3 games because it takes forever with the rules that we play for someone to actually win.
Either that or it's over near instantly because Jim actually won one just going right past Uno to win.
Yeah. We did that. The first game we played went super fast, and then the other 2 games we played were much longer.
Mostly because we contradicts to one another. I mean, let's be honest. Yeah. I mean, how many times did I set it green when I knew you didn't have greens?
Yeah, I know. I just couldn't get any fucking greens. And I mean, I wasn't actually mad, but I kept being like, you asshole, you cunt. Fucker.
Oh, in the loving Aussie way, right?
Yeah. And you weren't the only one who was doing it. They were all doing it. It was fine, though. I had a blast. It was good to just chill.
Or even better when it was a +4 and then I set it green.
Oh, we had one where it was like we played 3 +4s around the table, so somebody had to draw. Actually, that was me.
Yeah.
It was fucking me that had to draw 12 cards.
Yeah, one of our house rules is not counting skips. If a card comes to you that's like a plus, so draw 2 or draw 4. If you have that card, you could play it to pass it along. So 3 got played in a row, and they got all jumped on Jared. It was hilarious.
Yes, yeah, so whoever's the one who can't continue the chain has to draw all of the cards. So, yay. But I do have the list. There is a link to it in
next
Discord.
week is Forza.
Yep, next we're going to do Forza. The next week, I'm actually out of town. I'm going to Mississippi.
Woo.
Yeah.
Well,
apparently there's no meth gators there, so that's good.
Well, look at it this way. It's only Mississippi in the end of July, so it's not going to be warm at all.
No, it's not going to be hot or humid. But yeah, so I'm going to be out of
No, it's
town
going to
that
be
week.
both.
And then we're going to do Call of Duty Black Ops.
Yeah, I'm going to be skipping that.
DEFCON.
I'm going to skip Black Ops.
That's fair. And then Tabletop Simulator. I put co-op games to be determined because I wanted to talk to you and just get a quick refresher on those co-op games that you showed me, and then a couple co-op games that I'm aware of.
Yeah, I'm going to have to dig through for a few of those. Because,
and then oh, sorry.
Well, the last one that we did that was major co-op was Dead of Winter, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Dead of Winter is
which
also...
we could totally play, but...
Dead of Winter is also a pretty long game. But it also has that Secret Hitler-esque where there's someone secretly trying to work against the colony. And last time...
not always, because you might not draw one of those cards, but everybody does have their own objectives, and some of them could be hurting the colony. Yeah,
so the Magic Ball is interesting, but I'm not sure if it would be good for our size of group. Plus, the whole aspect of sitting there silently and playing, I think it would be lost on us.
Yeah, we're not very good at sitting quietly.
Kyle. I mean, let's be honest.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I can sit silently for a long time, but if people start talking, I'm much more likely to chime in. And then we're going to do, there was a request made, speaking of Kyle, he requested that we play Off-World Trading Company. Several community members have that game.
Yeah, I don't think I do.
But, so that gets us through the 26th of August. But there are still quite a few weeks. Even though they're on the list, the 23rd and the 30th are around Christmas and New Year. And I'm probably going to be in Colorado this year during those times. I'll know for sure as it gets closer. But I think the end of the year, those 2 weeks are blacked out for me. But otherwise, I don't think there's anything else.
Yeah, and pretty much if you're not around, people don't show up. So just blank those out right away, right?
Well, sure. I mean, everybody's always welcome to do stuff if I'm not there, but I do tend to drive it one way or another. But anyways, there's a whole bunch of weeks that people can request for. Obviously, I just made the first few just to have something on the list, but, I will be consulting for a few with Rage, and anyone who's got suggestions, you can drop them in Discord or send us a tweet or an email. I'm not quite sure where the best place is to put this so that it can just be there forever, because it's already getting buried in the general chat on Discord from when I posted it yesterday.
I would say maybe make it its own topic or pin it.
Oh yeah, I guess I could pin it to the top of the general chat. Oh, I like this. I've never actually pinned a message before. Pin it good. Hey, just double checking you want to pin this message to general for posterity and greatness. And then it's got the message. And then you can say cancel, or you can say, oh yeah, pin it. Oh yeah. So, that is pinned.
Woo. It looks like somebody else.
Oh, you know what? I should post it. Yeah, I forgot. I posted it after in the middle of a message, so I'm going to unpin that.
Oh, so you weren't sure about pinning it?
Well, I didn't realize it, so I'm gonna post it as a separate, just the link, and then pin that. There we go. Boom, done, fixed it.
Woo.
So yeah, that's now pinned as one of only 2 pinned messages.
Well, there's Ghost Shark's Minecraft
old
thing.
ones about Minecraft, which I think that server is still up for people. But anyways, suggestions are welcome for Game Club games. Try, if you have a bunch of the community members on your friends list, just try and check and make sure that at least a few people have the game. You know, I don't want to pick games that it's like only 2 people have. Like, that kind of defeats the purpose of community game night.
Yeah,
Several people need to have it.
Yeah, I would say actually Xbox Game Pass may be a good one.
Yeah, I don't know how many of us have Game Pass. You and I do. But we could definitely put some games up from Game Pass
Or
if more
Twitch
people
Prime
have got
games.
it. Yeah, although I don't know how many people have Twitch Prime either, but those are both possibilities. You know what? Question, community. How many of you have Game Pass or Twitch Prime? Because that would give us an idea about some potential other games that we might have instead of just Steam.
Yeah, if you want us to let us know, send them to vglpodcast@gmail.com or tweet it to vglpodcast.
Woo! So, moving on to the last part of the show, which is doobly-doo for the Discovery queue. And as always, I don't have that tab open, so I'm going to go do that. And I assume that you do, and
Of
you
course
have
I do.
something immediately.
Of course I do.
Okay, go for it.
So, but unfortunately I wasn't scrolled down far enough, so there we go. Earth Defense Force 5.
I love Earth Defense Force. Yay!
Do I need to say anything else?
Not for me, maybe for the audience at home.
So, arcade shooter taking place in the year 2022 as Earth Defense Force fends off an all-out attack by unknown life forms. Become an EDF soldier, battle against endless hordes of immense enemies, and restore peace to the Earth. So, over-the-top third-person shooter with online co-op. I mean, pretty much just, it's like a B-movie with a decent game attached to it, right?
It is. That is exactly what it is.
I mean,
sci-fi B-movie.
I mean, it doesn't look like it's top-tier gaming, but it looks like it's pretty damn good.
It is so fun. So fun. And yeah, it's not top tier, but it's just ridiculous and over the top and a blast. I love it.
And it's out now.
I just missed, you know what? It was just a sale. I should have bought EDF 4, Earth Defense Force 4, whatever its title is, because it had co-op. And I don't know if anybody else in our community has that, but that would be a wonderful co-op game.
I honestly never really heard of Earth Defense Force, so
I've talked about it on the show before, but it's been a while. Because I got it's Earth Defense Force 4.1, The Shadow of New Despair, which is like a remaster of Earth Defense Force 2029 or something like that, which was like Earth Defense Force 3. But anyways, it is ridiculously, amazingly campy. I should play more of that. I should definitely play more of that. I've got it installed. Not tonight, but another time soon.
Obviously
maybe
not
this weekend.
Obviously not tonight.
No.
Anyway, you got one?
My first game actually. Godhood. Create your own religion, guide and develop your faithful disciples in the strategy god game, Godhood. Select their virtues and vices, inspire them to construct great temples, ready for rituals to be held in your honor. So this looks, I mean, like a fun god game simulator type thing.
It has a bit of an auto game, or auto clicker feel to it. I'm not sure if it is, but it has kind of like that aesthetic.
Yeah, it definitely has the aesthetic. It's not listed in any of the tags as that, and it's been out for about a week now.
Yeah, some very mixed reviews, though.
But it looked neat.
So, I got Kill Squad. Unleash hell on a co-op ARPG where bounty hunters raid planets for glory. I mean, do you need anything else, right?
No, I don't think you need anything else.
So, early access ARPG suggested to me because I played both Torchlight and The Adventures of Van Helsing. So, yeah, pretty much on point there. It all comes down to just how it's handling, though, because ARPG is kind of getting to the point where it's a very loose genre. Sort of like what roguelike is these days, where it's a general idea, but there's a lot of nuance in it itself. I mean, hell, just the difference between Torchlight and Van Helsing and now I'm blanking on the other horror themed one I played. There's a lot of difference in game mechanic. Essentially stuff behind the scenes, how it handles. In some cases, just pure controls can change things immensely. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays.
Yeah. So I'm getting a lot of garbage.
Oh, I just got Godhood. Huh. Oh, well, that's a thing. Okay, I guess I gotta add that if you don't have anything.
What the hell is this? Oh, it's another non-English. So I've gotten 3 or 4 visual novels that don't have English translations. English language not supported. But the title's translated to English and it says "Make butter together!" Exclamation point.
Definitely a porn game.
But it's English language not supported. So.
Well, how about Sword Art Online Hollow Fragment?
Yes.
That's all you need, right? Sword Art
Online. I'm in.
Yeah, that's a game that I'm surprised we haven't seen a lot more just games of. There's a few, but I'm surprised I'm surprised there hasn't been a full-on MMO at this point. Because it's an anime about an MMO.
A couple of the games definitely emulate an MMO, but they're not. There was a mobile game that had a multi or an online component to it, but I don't think that game exists anymore because it was garbage.
I mean, it has definitely the aesthetic of the anime down pat. It looks like it's more action RPG-ish, which is fine. I mean, that works pretty well for that universe. It's a little hard for me to tell just how it handles, though, beyond that. But hey, if you want more Sword Art Online, there you go, right?
Indeed.
Huh.
So I got one. Space Mercs. Space Mercs is an extreme arcade space combat game where the amount of projectiles and lasers on screen is only toppled by the amount of stars in the universe.
Why does this feel familiar?
It's got Space Sim as one of the tags, so I'm wondering if this is like a, do missions, kill things, get cash, get a better ship.
This feels very familiar. I'm not sure if I saw it on Reddit or something, but that looks very familiar to me. I mean, it's very possible I just saw it on Reddit.
Mm-hmm.
I got an interesting looking one. The Dark Pictures Anthology, Man of Medan. The Dark Pictures Anthology is a series of standalone branching cinematic horror games that can be played online with a friend. So, co-op, I'm guessing more psychological horror than, jump scare horror. Just based on some of this. I mean, it definitely has a interesting feel to it. To just the way the graphics are. It's kind of almost borderline Uncanny Valley with some of it. But just that 9th and the 10th screenshot. Wow, right?
I got Earth Defense Force 5 as my last game on my list.
Damn it, right?
This looks exactly like the EDF I know and love. Well, that guy's got a shield. I don't know if the shield is new or not. I don't remember the shield. Maybe I just don't have it unlocked. Yeah. Add to wish list.
Okay, this looks
20%
interesting.
20% off.
Yeah. Looks
like
like
a launch sale, or is that because I own
launch sale.
Okay.
It was a bit off for me. So I got another one. I'm only about halfway through my list.
So I just went ahead and started another queue.
Yeah, because you had so many bad ones. So Robo Instructus is a puzzle game where you're maneuvering a robot based on issue instructions. So another programming game, which I kind of have a soft spot for. But this looks like it's instead of your traditional programming game where you're dragging and dropping set instructions. You're actually writing proper programming. So this could be like an in-between of something like magnum opus and actually learning proper programming.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, definitely worthwhile if you're looking for, to get into programming. This would be something to, kind of learn the flow of things. Depending if, it's using the language that you're interested in. And I got another one immediately, assuming that you don't have another one.
No, I've got one that I'm just staring at. I need to get you a link.
I just got something that's like, what the fuck? Goat of Duty.
I got Goat of Duty. That was the one I was about to pull up and say.
Do you want it?
You can have it on your list. No, you can have it on your list. It's fine.
You sure?
I just was like mesmerized by this, going like, what?
Yeah, I just clicked that and this has to be by the Goat Simulator, right?
It's developed by 34 Big Things, which isn't Goat Simulator Coffee Stain?
Yeah, it is. Super inefficient golf. Sorry, I thought I heard something.
Space Assault, Hideout,
yeah.
Goblin Squad.
Hyperspace Massacre. So they definitely have, some oddball games here. So yeah, basically this is like
that's on the wish list.
Yeah, this is like the evolution of what I think they were trying to do with Goat Simulator. Only it looks like it's taken a little bit more seriously almost, which is a little weird. But Unreal Tournament beats Goat Simulator. That's all you need to know, according to the top review. It's actually pretty cheap. Only problem is if it's multiplayer focused, right?
Yeah. Well, here's more just porn. Just on the Steam store. Like full nips and everything. Broke Girl, but then English language not supported. But some of the stuff is in English. I'm not gonna put a link to that in the show notes. I don't want to get us in trouble.
Yeah.
With our. But yeah, that's just literally porn. Ooh, another space game, Starfighter Infinity.
Oh, you go ahead and talk about that while I do a quick search for this. Because I got a visual novel, so I went ahead to the visual novel database. Go ahead.
Starfighter Infinity. Space-based MMORPG with a focus on dogfighting style action and exploration. Features a huge array of ships, imaginative weapons, and ship upgrades. More being added all the time. Explore the galaxy, fight other players, form your own organizations, mine asteroids to craft new items, loot, etc.
Okay, well, I got Date A Live Reincarnation. Show the spirits the power of love and save the world in this romantic visual novel. And the Data Live series is actually a fairly ongoing series, if memory serves. That's why I was looking into. This is the third. Hang on, I'm having to check a couple things. Yeah, it looks like it's the Data Live series has 4 different games. This is the third one, with the 4th one coming out soon in Japan. And there's also an alternate version, so there's an alternate timeline perhaps going on here. But this is the third sequel, so I'm not sure how it just tied into the others. That's why I was wanting to look into. Overall, it looks like it's considered a long visual novel with 30 to 50 hour range, with some interesting tags here, including the one true ending tag, which is always fun to see. If you don't know that one, it's typically there's a set canonical ending, and the others are like alternate timelines or alternate scenarios. And typically the one true ending is the last one they unlock, and you have to do everything else. Oh, now I'm willing to kind of go for a game club game that I just thought of that had just a heartbreaking ending to it. Oh, that's very tempting. I'm going to have to put that on the list.
Well, I'm almost done with this other queue and haven't
I'm
found anything else
nearly
worth
at the
mentioning.
end here. How about a turn-based strat? It's like my entire queue is like, at least decent games, right?
Well, one can hope. That's how it turns out, though. Your queues are always have better.
So, Tiny Metal, Full games. Metal Rumble. Essentially, micro tanks, almost Tactics Advanced by the looks of it. With the aesthetic looks a little bit cheaper to me.
Mm-hmm.
Than you usually see in like a third person, like semi-isometric view. It doesn't look terrible. Looks like it has some decent reviews, but it doesn't have hardly any reviews on it. But it looks like there's some people complaining about the brightness of it. Maybe that's why it feels a little bit cheaper. It's like blown out contrast.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think that's why I was going for with that. It looks kind of the contrast could be worked a little bit better, but overall it doesn't look terrible. Ooh, and that is.
I'm sorry, I don't know what the hell this is, but it's got to go. It's got to go on there.
All right,
Precipice. Link incoming.
Interesting.
In a game of diplomacy and war in the atomic age, safeguard your closest allies and change unfavorable regimes without giving away your long-term ambition. So, but it's got these in the trailer. It's people wearing like animal masks, and then it shows images of them. But like,
well, it's all animal characters. So the U.S. is an eagle, the USSR is a bear, Canada's an otter or a beaver. I can't really tell, just because probably a beaver. So, it works.
Right, so,
it's interesting. Yeah. And speaking of grand strategy, I actually
that's my cue, by the way, so it's all you till you're done.
Yeah, I just got another one. I mean, why don't I just link my entire queue and be done with it? Because I think I skipped one this time so far. Oh, I got Fields of Glory Empires. So, grand strategy, not quite 4X. It looks like it has a lot more in-depth battle system than a lot of these games, or a lot of the grand strategies I've seen, which is interesting to me. Because usually when you hit grand strategy area, it's usually just armies throwing themselves at one another, but it looks like it has a full-on tactical mode for its battle system. At least that's what it looks like here. And fully turn-based. So that could play out interestingly. I'm not sure how it does, though. But Fields of Glory Empires is a grand strategy game in which you move in an intricate and living tapestry of nations, tribes, each one with their own distinctive culture. So if they could play up the cultural differences between the different factions well enough, I think it would be a pretty interesting game. Because typically, I keep thinking like Civ whenever I'm thinking of cultural differences in a grand strategy game, and that's usually, the AI plays slightly different, if at all, and there's like one different unit in a different building or something. So, if they could play that up, that would be really interesting. But it looks like there's a couple tough reviews on it, and it doesn't have that many reviews. It just released last week, so. And last one. What the hell? I need to add this just for our clicks, right?
What have you got?
Because this will add us to the SEO. Stranger Things 3, the game.
Oh, yeah.
I have no idea how this plays out. I haven't watched Stranger Things. Honestly, not too hip to watch it immediately. It's just not quite my thing, but hey, we get it for the SEO, right?
Yeah. Stranger Things, the whole series, I want to watch it, but it's on my huge list of things to get to one day eventually, maybe. So,
this feels very cheap, doesn't it?
I think that's on purpose.
Yeah, I know.
Because it does look like an NES game.
I would go.
Yeah,
I would go late NES, early SNES.
And that's kind of what the show does. Like, I haven't seen it, but I'm pretty familiar with it from just a cinematography and sort of a film
cultural
standpoint.
osmosis.
Yeah, I mean, the show is trying to be what the 80s pretended it was, if that makes sense. Like, you get a lot of action movie tropes in it, for example, where it's like, I mean, that's stupid. No one would ever do that. But in an 80s action movie, they would do that. So the show does that a lot. It's not just pop culture stuff. So them making a game that looks like an NES game from the mid to late 80s makes perfect sense with that in mind.
Yeah,
I've never seen the show.
Yeah, but hey, I had to add it just for, I would say actually not NES, but like PC Engine. Because this is way advanced for NES. But, somewhat early home PC games.
Yeah.
Looks like it's a beat 'em up, which is interesting. So Stranger Things 3, the game. So does that mean Stranger Things 1 and 2's had games and we missed them?
I don't know. Good question. I don't think so, but maybe they did. Probably a shitty mobile game.
I was about to say mobile. Gonna have to go check the App Store, right?
So there's Stranger Things Will's Side Quest. That's free. I don't know who Will is. I guess a character in the show.
Well, where there's a will, there's a way.
Indeed. Where there's a will, there's a way. Just looking to see for any more information about this.
And also where there's a will, there's a dispute over the estate.
Where there's a will, there's a Wheaton.
Oh, let's not go there. Unless I could tell him to shut up, Wesley.
You can do whatever you want. You are a person with your own agency.
Wait, I can smack Will Wheaton? I like this plan. I'm glad to be part of it.
Indeed. So I think that wraps us up for Discovery Queue, right?
I believe so.
Alrighty. Well then, Rage, hit him with the socials.
Well, I've been Caffeine Rage. You can find me on the YouTubes, Gaming with Caffeine Rage. You can find me on Twitter, Gaming with CR, where I've been bitching about YouTube. Maybe someday you'll find me on Twitch, twitch.tv/caffeine_rage. And you can find me on Steam. Hey, how about that? Caffeine Rage as well. Not just, Caffeine Rage as well. It's just Caffeine Rage, but, trying to tie everything together. And you've been?
Gaming Psychologist. You can find my stuff on the YouTube by searching for Gaming Psychologist, on Twitter at JMA4707, and you can send a friend request or a chat message to me on Steam via JArthur4707.
And if you wish to let them know what episode of the podcast you're coming from, the password for this week is, of course, Meth Gators. I mean, it has to be, right?
It has to be. Those good old Meth Gators.
Yeah, I mean, there's no way we couldn't have had it Meth Gators. I mean, or Meth Gator. Let's make it singular, right?
Right.
Oh, Meth Gator. What the fuck is going on with this world? Did the world end in 2012 and we're just, slowly going into hell?
We're all in a horrible nightmare. Possibly.
That's not a reason for you to pinch me, though. Besides, you're supposed to be pinching yourself to wake up from a nightmare.
I'll pinch you right on the bottom.
Oh, my. And since we are talking about bottoms, we're at the bottom end of the show. How about that for a segue? So, once again, you could send us stuff, vglpodcast@gmail.com with your letters, voicemails, gaming-related topics, or just tweet them to VGLPodcast on the Twitter. Our lovely, lovely patrons are questioning why they're paying for this absolute madness, but to learn more, you could go to patreon.com/VGLPodcast. And our lovely patrons have made our Podbean account possible. VGLpodcast.podbean.com, which hosts the show notes, the RSS feed, and links to all the stuff I mentioned earlier. Or you can find us on iTunes, Google Play, or your podcatcher of choice, most of the time. Our intro and outro music is On the Ground by Ken McLeod. You can find his work at Computech.com, and Discovery Queue music is... Oh, I didn't mention Discovery Queue. I screwed it up, so I was trying to make up for it, but... someone's trying to jump in anyway. Discovery Queue music by the same artist, Doobly Doo, and Computech.com, and...
As always, as his lovely music starts to roll across my voice. Bye-bye now.
See you next time.